Quarantine, day 975. The mushrooms that I've been growing for sustenance in the cellar seem to have gained sentience. They swarm around me when I enter the room and follow me hither and thither, and they've developed some aspects of personality that I find to be intriguing. Makes it extremely difficult that I still have to eat them to survive, but this is the way of the world. It wouldn't be a terrarium stream without starting off with this stupid coronavirus joke. Thank you for joining us. It's good to be back. I know it's been a little while since you've seen me here. For anyone in the stream who isn't aware, my name is Wayne. I was one of the game designers for Terrarium and team lead on the project. And if you have joined us before, welcome back and thanks for being here. The last time you saw me, I think, was our rap party for contest entries, where we did about a 4 or 5 hour stream and we watched entries trickle in at the end of the submission deadline and sort of played and celebrated a lot of the cool stuff that community members were submitting. Since then, I've gone a little bit off the grid. We have done a few streams, but you haven't seen me particularly. And today, if you've been following the contest, I think you will have seen that we announced our long list. We had over 200 eligible levels entered into the contest, which you can imagine was a lot for us to sort through and play and make sure that every level got a fair shake in terms of, having multiple people play it and try it out and rank them and talk about them and things. So that's what I've been busy with. Myself and a few other team members made sure that we went through everything, and after a lot of debate, we landed on the top 40 that you would have seen today. If you're interested, you can see that at murder.garden/contest. Maybe someone can drop a link in the chat. If anyone didn't get the newsletter or hasn't seen it yet, our top, I think, 41 levels are listed there. So I'm going to be playing a few of those today and talking about some of them. I just sort of have a random selection. And another thing that I'm going to be doing is showcasing the Steam Workshop build that went live today for everybody out there. If you've joined us before or you've been playing Terrarium, one thing that you're aware of is that this is a maker game. You build your own levels. That's kind of the point. But because we've been running this contest and we've been in early access, we had the ability for community members to download other people's levels turned off. You could submit levels, which was how you entered the contest and how we got them, but we weren't allowing you to grab other people's levels and play them. And it was a hard decision to make, but we thought it was important so that people weren't, so that you could kind of hold your trade secrets close to the chest, so to speak, while you were submitting and making levels. We didn't want people having their ideas stolen or leaked or anything like that. So there was a couple months there while the contest was running where you couldn't do that. Well, we've turned it back on. So as of today, you can browse through the Terrarium section on Steam Workshop and download and play any level you want. So I'm going to talk you through how to do that today. It's not difficult. One caveat we have is that this feature in the build that you are getting today has a UI that leaves a lot to be desired. It is functional, it allows you to do it, but it is not the way it's going to look or work when the game eventually launches. So keep that in mind. It will be a better interface than it is now, but we thought it was important to open the faucet and let people start seeing each other's work, because honestly, I know we keep saying this, but actually amazed at the quality of levels in general that were submitted for this contest. It made coming to the long list that we released today very, very difficult because the levels were so good. There were very few bad levels. And when I say bad levels, I mean, I would even consider those like unfinished or just a submission that maybe someone put in and forgot about. Anything that was a serious submission, like the lower bar in terms of quality was just a good solid level, which is amazing because it means the competition will be tight, and a lot of really cool ideas we saw expressed through what you were submitting. And it made it take longer than we expected to sift through them and determine, okay, what's our long list. But we have that today. You can see it at murder.garden/contest. I'm going to be playing some of those levels today, and if you are in the chat here today, and if you've submitted something on the long list and you want to see it played, let us know in chat or on Discord, and I'll pull it into the game, and we can play it and talk about it. So, without further ado, let's look at what the new workshop accessible build looks like. Pretty much the same. The main thing is that under Maker Mode here, where you've been spending all your time these last weeks, you'll now see this item called Browse Shared Levels. And what you're going to see on screen right now is that ugly UI I was talking about, showing a few of the levels from the long list that I have loaded into the game to play today. What you are not seeing on stream, because OBS doesn't pick it up, is a Steam overlay right now over top of my game that takes me to the workshop section of, the terrarium section of workshop in Steam. And from that overlay, I can subscribe, unsubscribe, browse through levels, etc., etc. You can do everything you could do in Steam itself or in the browser. It's not popping up on the overlay, so I'm going to show it to you a different way. This is it in the browser. And I gotta tab myself over to it so I can see it. There we go. This is it in the browser. Looks basically the same. You're familiar with this if you've used a workshop game before, or if you've been submitting and maintaining your own entries for the Terrarium level design contest. None of this is new. I'm just going to show you how it works with our game if you want to start checking stuff out today. So right now, all I've done is go to Browse User Levels, and I'm browsing all levels. You can search, you can tag stuff if people are tagging, you can filter, all those good things. But essentially, all you need to know to pull a level into Terrarium to play is, I hope you can see this on stream. If you hover over any entry, there's a little plus sign. You can click that, and it turns into a little check mark now, showing me this is a subscribed item. Another way to do it is to click an entry, and on the page for that workshop item, I can click subscribe right here. That's really all it takes. One thing to note is that they don't immediately come into your game. You have to reload the game before they will show up. So if you have the game open while you're browsing levels and while you are subscribing, unsubscribing, whatever, you will need to close and reopen your Terrarium before those levels show up in this list. So these are the ones I had pulled up before. And if I... Oops. If I close my game and relaunch it, they should be there. So there you go. 2 more levels. Hypno Gardens and Forsaken. Those were the 2 I just subscribed to in the browser. So there you have it. Now all you need to do is click one of these, and it loads up and you can play it like you would a normal level. One other thing that is sort of a temporary feature of this, or a feature of this temporary UI, is that you can only have 25 levels in that list. You can subscribe to as many as you want, but only the first 25 will show up there. So if you want to see more than that, you will have to unsubscribe from some items to get new ones to appear in the game. Again, that is a temporary thing in this UI, but we wanted to get this out to you while we continue working on, processing the rest of the levels, getting them to the judges, and working on future builds of the game to release. So, can we still edit our levels or make new levels? You definitely can. I wish we are still having people submit levels. I hope lots of people continue submitting levels. As you know, the contest entries are closed. I would say, especially if you have a level in the top 40, don't touch them. We asked you to stop editing those once the contest did close. That's still the case. So, yeah, keep making and submitting levels. We would like that. So I think I've played this one on stream before. Lost Property. This was the first level I saw where someone put the prime specimen right at the start and dropped the fruit somewhere inaccessible. This was shortly after we introduced the ability to stack items like this, and they really did a great job of creating this underground maze that I need to navigate. One thing we're working on since adding the verticality and because of levels like this is improving the occlusion. Like, I can see myself right now to varying degrees depending on where I put the camera through all of these vertical objects, and this is a good example of this is kind of what I want to see, and when I'm close I can kind of see through the bricks, and when I'm far I can see the outline. So it's usable, but when we originally created the camera for this game and worked on the occlusion, we weren't giving people the ability to stack stuff this high. So after seeing some of the things that the community has been creating, now that they can stack, we've taken a look at our occlusion, and we're experimenting with a few ways that we can make that better. I still find it usable like this, there I go, as I die. But that's something that we definitely want to improve for everybody. Let's see. If anybody has any requests for something they want to see played, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to just keep rambling and playing through some of these things that I have loaded in here. Alright. This is one of my favorite levels. There are plenty of levels where I use the sleep function for the Mugu, but this is one that forces you to use it in a lot of really neat ways. So I just wanted to highlight that and play through it on stream. I may have dabbled with this one on stream before too. I honestly don't know. I've played so many hours of Terrarium in the past few weeks that it's honestly a bit of a blur. especially since, we can't leave our homes and things like that. So apologies if I have done this on stream before, but I thought this would be fun to highlight. So this user does something here that, is a trick a lot of you figured out, which is putting the Mugu on the other side of something, and your control radius still allows them to follow you through walls. They know where you are, they can sense you. Conceptually, they're supposed to be following you by some sort of pheromone or something like that. So, we have two paths here. One that is blocked by spikes so that the gardener cannot walk through it, but the Mugu can. And the terrain itself on the other side is safe. And the other, which is water, which the gardener can walk in because of her trusty yellow rubber boots. But as we know, kills Mugu. So we're split here, and I need to navigate them through their side of the maze from my side. So as they follow me along here, this is what I mean when I say I have to put them to sleep. If I continue to walk this way, they'll just walk into that water in the corner and die. So I actually need to use the sleep function to walk around the corner and make sure that I beckon them back into my control from the right angle. Because even if I did it from here, they'll walk right into that water and die. So I need to think about where I'm calling them from. And I have to do the same thing here. One thing what I liked about this level was this is all really well thought through. Very, very puzzle-like. It took me a number of tries to figure out all the spots and exactly where I needed to go. So here, they've put this water in all these spots so that I need to think about where the Mugu stop. So here I need to stop them in the middle of... Oh, I left them too long out of my control because I was talking. I can get back there pretty quickly. Give me a second. Let's do that again. Trusty beacon plant has kept them safe for me. So I sleep them there. I walk across. Sleep them there. Sleep them there. Now, they've left this tiny little Mugu gate under there, which I thought was so cute. So I need to stop them in the middle of that section so that when I beckon them, they walk into it. And now, if I look from above here, it matters which side I go down. The Mugu can walk through these spikes, so I have to pull them through on the right side and not the left side, so they stay out of that water puddle. Stop them approximately there, and now I can walk over to the other side. Pull them through here. So what's going to happen here is actually, I won't call it an exploit. It's just sort of something in the way the game works. You can fire the Mugu when they're within your control radius, and it doesn't actually check for walls at the moment. So this person figured that out. Ultimately, is that good or bad? I mean, it's the way it is right now. It's a bit of a debug tool because it's a maker mode and there's so many things that are imperfect around the edges. We've left it that way so that we can unstuck Mugu, so to speak. So they take advantage of it there. There are other ways that you could achieve that, if that ends up changing by production release. But for now, I think it's fine. So you saw me there again use sleep a couple times to get the Mugu in the right place. And I'm reunited with them now and rewarded with this little Mugu Graveyard where I can replenish my supplies a little bit. There we go. Back up to 7. So there you go. There's where I went in. Just like a really cool little loop there. Are there any plans to do more streams of player creations and updates after the contest is over? That's a good question. Argonian Sandwiches, great name. We are getting back to doing regular weekly streams now, so we have content planned every week from now through the summer. We're working on a release date for the game in the summer, and we are going to be announcing a variety of things between now and then. We're going to be doing, I guess I don't know that it's all settled yet, but we have a bunch of different content planned to show you. And definitely showing player creations and updates of new dev builds and things like that with features that you can expect at release is something that we're going to be doing. Two things I can say right now related to the contest are that the announcement went out today for the long list of levels that we narrowed it down to. And I believe on May 15th, we will be announcing the short list of levels that will be going to our judges, who will ultimately be deciding who the winners of the contest are. And we expect on June 5th to have an announcement for who has won the contest. If anyone in chat wants to correct me on any of that, if I was wrong, please go ahead. So this level is all about getting enough Mugu from these little side sections to lower this Shroomovator enough that I can get into there. So I don't have enough yet. I lost 1 Mugu unnecessarily in that last section. So this is what I was talking about where I said the shooting through walls is something we're using as a debug tool. Because we allow users to place things and resize things and rotate things, the colliders on a lot of these objects have been finicky just in terms of the way that they interact with the Mugu's navigation brain. And you can see these two little guys have got stuck just in these rocks. So this is something that we're continuing to work on, and we've already put a lot of work into fixing, but it is what it is. It's one of those things that we're going to get as close to perfect as possible, but because of the nature of the game and what you do in it, it may never be perfect. So we've left the shooting not checking for collisions so that I can do that. They're stuck, and I just shoot them out of being stuck. So that's why that is the way it is, if anyone's wondering. And if you've watched me on this stream before, that's something you see me do all the time, is kind of like shoot Mugu back into play, so to speak. So here's another little pathing puzzle. I believe if I go through there, I'm dead. So I need to go... Oh. Again, while I was talking, I didn't consider that all my Mugu would die because they were outside of my control radius for too long. Let's try a different one. It would be awesome to have a dev player creators community, including Discord and Twitch. Yeah, I mean, we're open to suggestions too. You know, I think since the contest ended, we've been a little more silent than we had previously been on Discord. A little less communicative, I guess, because there was a lot of work to do on playing through all these levels, and you know, we're still making other games, so and this game, so there are just things on the go that caused us to be a little bit quieter. But I assure you, you know, we're still checking it, we're still making notes on everything that you're asking for and celebrating over on Discord. So we definitely would love to know the types of things you would like to see in future streams, because you know, it's easy for me to do this and just play the game and talk about it. But if there's stuff specifically that you're like, I wish this, we can arrange that. You know, if you want a stream that's more art focused, and you want me to try and get some of the 3D artists or Jeff or art director onto stream, I can try and negotiate that with them. They may be a little camera shy, but we'll see what we can do. Yeah, we had a lot of great people working on this, so we can try and do some more focus streams. In terms of like, can we get anyone from Discord on the stream? I mean, maybe. Ask in Discord. Well, we'll let Katie figure that one out. You want to see Donnie. Donnie is napping right now, unfortunately. Or fortunately for me, actually. I'm actually going to play that level a little bit more, because there's a cool part I want to try and get to. We'll give ourselves one shot. There's something later on in this level I want to see, so I'm going to try and power through it and talk a little bit less to see if I can get there without killing all my Mugu. In general, one thing I can say, you know, if anyone needs the assurance, one rule we made for ourselves while we were going to go through every level was like, we got to beat every level. You know, if someone took the time to build and submit something that they spent hours and hours on, the least we can do is make sure that we beat it. And man, some of them were hard. Some of them were really hard. This one took me so many tries to get through. There are a lot of other levels that were just like very well made and very difficult for various reasons. So if you submitted something, you can sleep easy knowing that one of us on the team, at least, but usually more than one of us, downloaded it and played it until they were able to beat it. Now, I'm a Terrarium god, so I would say I probably beat more than anybody else. Just for a little self-love there. Okay, we're plus one Mugu from the last playthrough. So what I'm doing now, when Mugu are born from one of those graveyards, they have a little Mugu brain that determines what they're doing and what they care about. And when they're born, they go into a dazed state where they can't do anything. When I beckon, one of the things that beckon does, aside from calling all of the Mugu towards me, wherever they are, they just beeline towards me. One of the other things that it does is clears the cache in their little Mugu brain so that they're able to reset their priority. And when you do that, when they're near one of those breeding stations, they immediately care about making more Mugu. So that's why you'll see me beckon a lot while I'm breeding. It speeds the process up a little because it clears them out of the dazed state. And oh, okay. Couldn't do it. It's a tricky maneuver there. There's a cool part. We won't get to it today. Otherwise, we'll spend the whole stream on less levels than we should. To go back to what I was saying, yeah, so it clears their little Mugu brain and allows them to breed quicker. It's a pro tip for you. I'm open to suggestions if anyone sees a title on the screen that they like and they want to see played. These were kind of mostly randomly selected from the list of the long list that we published. If there are no requests, let's go play... I don't think... Sky's the limit. I can't think of off the top. Oh, yes. Like another completely crazy level. Look at this. So this one is about leading them through multiple levels, you know. I have not actually. This is one of the ones I didn't play, so you're going to see me try and figure this out on the spot. And already I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, you can see with the complexity of some of these levels how maybe I wasn't supposed to drop my Mugu off the bat. Some of them take some figuring out. If you have published levels or you are going to publish more levels, on your workshop entry, you can fill that with as much as you want. Some users put like video playthroughs or like an artistic statement about the level or tips on how to beat it or notes on the level creation. Some people wrote like a little flavor entry, with which I found particularly endearing. So if you have made levels or you are going to make levels, especially moving forward now that we're through the contest entry phase, you know, the more you put on your entry page, the more it's going to stand out in workshop while other players are browsing for levels to play. I would love to know what I'm supposed to do with this one. I guess I have to drop, but like, there's no way to get back up here, is there? Because like, I'm stopped by the spikes, so... Is this one of Katie's levels? Ah, okay. So I have to go to other sides. Oh my god, this is a nightmare. There are several things... Anyone who's watched the stream, you know from experience that I hate hypnobulbs. Some people do some really cruel things with hypnobulbs. The other thing that I hate is navigating spikes in close quarters. So this is like one of the levels of hell to me. So I tend to want to walk fast, right? And when you walk fast, you clip the colliders on these stupid things and you die. So, yeah, like... Oh, those guys are trapped. Sorry, bros. I think I see a way. Question is if I can get through there. Oh god, we did it. That's weird. So that whole top area I just walked through. Well, a win's a win. Jump. Yeah. It's a jump. A leap of faith. This one I thought was pretty cool. Charming Labyrinth. This is a maze, and I just I like the way that the creator of this level double stacked the walls. We had a lot of mazes submitted that didn't take advantage of the verticality as much to create this sort of like depth, you know? I feel much more enclosed in this. It also means that I can't always see as far, you know, when I scroll up. So it really heightened the feeling of isolation. And then, you know, decorating the tops like that was pretty cool too. Like, this really feels like being in, you know, the labyrinth from the movie Labyrinth, or the maze from Maze Runners or something like that. I have played this level before, but to be honest, I'm not entirely sure where I'm going at the minute. Oh no, we lost a couple. I took too long. Look at her. Look at her waiting out there at the top right in the darkness. Just chomping. Oh. This is another thing I liked when people did, like little doorways and secret passageways. I always found really cool. Like secret passageways. Anytime I walk up to something like this, I'm so suspicious now. Like, from this angle, you guys have trained me to just to expect lava or spikes on the other side of that drop. But this creator was benevolent and is just a ramp. But I'm so used to just like walking over things into a trap. I've definitely trust issues after all the levels that I've played. Or lava and spikes, yeah. Lava in spikes. Another cool mechanic we saw was... So I just walked onto this Shroom Vader with all my little shroomies, my thick boys. And it goes down and I get on it. That's like, you know, the asset being used as intended. It's a gate, basically. It lets me get over something, and I can take my Mugu with me. Boom, I did it. This is on safe terrain, so it's fine. They actually lower per the amount of Mugu that you have on them, so what we saw in some cases was people putting these things on lava, where with the maximum number of Mugu on them, they kind of go into the lava a little bit, so you die if you take too many Mugu on it, or your Mugu die. Same thing within water. They can dip just a bit into the water so that, you know, someone would set you up with a lot of Mugu and you feel good, and then you just, without thinking, take them onto one of these mushrooms and you fall in and your whole Mugu swarm dies, or you die. Oh look, that was the end. I guess I went the correct way. So that was something that was neat. We were just always pleasantly surprised at the things that the community was figuring out to do with the assets that were in the game that weren't necessarily things that were intended. That's something you did in both your levels. Do I have one of yours here? That one guy? I feel like... Oh, Temple of Migmar. I'm going in. This is one of yours, isn't it? Oh, look at these guardians. I like this. See, this is a level with good flavor to it. It's like... It's called the Temple of Migmar. I load in. There's big temple gates with giant stone guardians. I remember this. I don't remember what to do. Go down that one. Are there secrets? I'm trying to remember if one of these... I'm also always looking for, like... You know, these were often used as, like, gateways to little hidden, you know, breeding stations and stuff, so I'm always keeping an eye out for hidden locations now, too. Because I got that Mugu greed. I just want as many as I can get. But I like this. This is cool. Getting under the fire. Getting out before it comes back. I think I better... Does this one blow forever? Or just really long? Nope, forever. Okay. Oh god. Can I get that from here? Yes. Oh god, no! It's like, as I was doing that, I knew that it was a bad idea. And then I just kept doing it. Alright. Let's get a couple of these out of the way early. God, I think I timed that wrong. Nope. We did it! I see you, Smash Grass. Look at that. These are one of my favorite models in the game. So simple. The little blood on the, what do you call those? Leaflets? Are those leaflets? It'd be cool if we could stack those two. What are you asking about stacking, middle kid? I mean, the more stuff we can stack, the better. Okay. Will I die to these? Oh, I hit the freaking spikes. That's why I hate spikes. I always underestimate their reach. Shroom evaders. So they'd like recoil like an accordion if you go on top with enough Mugu. Like if I get on the top of a Shroom evader stack, would all of them in the stack compress? That'd be fun. So what you're kind of watching me do on stream right now with this like trial and error, so much of this, just like figure out one part of a level and then you die and you go back in and you got to start back over. Someone in the Discord at one point suggested if we could include checkpoints, and until that point it wasn't something we'd ever thought we would need. You know, it had come up, but we were like, we're not going to need checkpoints. But now that I've played, 150 user submitted levels and I've been put through such pain, maybe we do want checkpoints. But there's also an argument to be made. There's also an argument to be made for not having them and just leaning into the difficulty and the, learning the ins and outs of a level. Like, there were levels that took me probably an hour and a half to beat at the end of the day. Did I go a different way? Oops. Forgot a step. Give me a break. One more try on this one, then we'll switch. I think I'm going to go till around 3:30 today, maybe a little bit longer if we're rolling. Excuse me. Hey, Kaz. Is it Kaz Streams? Can you tell us how to pronounce that? Part of me wants to say like Quaz Streams, but there's no U. Yeah, we've played, I played a level called Separation Anxiety that I really liked. Geez. Next time I switch, we'll look back at the list of what I've got loaded and we can try and remember. Actually, that one guy, I would love to know, now that you've been watching me play this for 10 or 15 minutes, am I doing what you expected? I'm always curious if I'm playing levels as intended or finding different ways to do things. No. Oh. Alright. Now I gotta remember. Leave those there. I like that you gave me a little breeding station there. Crossing water like that always seems like so simple, but because of the way they swarm around you, out in front of you and behind you, you know, if you walk too close while you're shooting them, they'll go into the water and die. So it's always it's more dangerous than you initially think. Or like here, if I get too close to the edge, they'll fall. Oh no, like those poor souls. Oh, it's too many. They're gonna die. I'm not gonna get there in time. Ugh. Okay, we got some of them through. Okay. Okay. Great level, that one guy. So let me see. We played Lost Property. We played Separation Anxiety. We played Temple of Migmar. We played The Sky's the Limit. We played Charming Labyrinth. Yeah, no problem. I like that level. Obviously, you put a lot of thought into it. It's very well paced, and I like... I got the sense while I was playing it that you play tested it. You know, that's what often separated, a good level from a very good or great level. Like in a good level, playing it, I could see what the level designer was intending, but it wasn't always perfectly executed. Whereas in a great level, you might have the same concept, and it felt like it was play tested enough that things were placed perfectly for timings and for the asset, the game assets to kind of do what they're supposed to be doing without making it frustratingly difficult, but difficult enough. So that one felt very well paced and play tested. Let's try Tosamugu. this little river basin I'm in. So yeah, like I said, I think my rough count of like levels that I personally played is honestly close to, if not 150, because of the streams and then just, you know, general interest. And but I think this is, oh no, disaster. I think this is one that actually I have not played before. El Clasico. You guys wait there. No. It's a race against time. Another interesting, like, I think it's interesting game design note on the beckon ability. Oh, you're dead, buddy. Sorry. He landed in water. So two things, I guess, actually, that you might find interesting or funny. That when a Mugu is born, they sort of pop up and spring. We call that, just came to be called popcorn. If you've heard me talk about old versions of the game before, you'll know that every Mugu that died used to leave a little corpse that any Mugu could fertilize, and then 2 to 3 Mugu would pop out of any dead one. So the swarm management was much different in older versions of the game, and there was a lot more Mugu birthing going on, and that popcorn effect just became beloved around the office. The little pop sound and the way they'd spring out and go kind of in all directions. We liked the variability of that. Like, if a Mugu is born near hazards, they can die. So what you saw happen there was one was born into water, which kills a Mugu. When they are born, their little brain that I talked about earlier has a brief moment where they can't be killed by anything. But when that moment's over, they can be killed. So he landed in water and he was okay for a moment, and then his little invulnerability brain trigger turned off and he died, the poor fellow. What I was going to say before that was the beckon ability. When you see me running around and by beckon plants, let's find one. It was way back there. Beckon as an ability, globally in the map, there's only ever one instance of beckon. So right now, that's me triggering it. I'm the source of the beckon, and the Mugu want to come to me. Somewhere else on the map, when a beckon plant beckons, that becomes the beckon, and they go there to that beckon. When I press it, they come back to me again. So the like rapid tapping like this when you're around a lot of beckon plants, because the Mugu reacts so quickly to the beckon, is a good way to just try and stay on top of being the place they want to be. Because in tight places with dangerous obstacles around, beckon can really quickly pull your Mugu into something that will kill them. So you'll see me spam beckon a lot when I'm around. Okay, what do I do here? When I'm around beckon plants. This is going to be fun. So they all go off. I think I timed that poorly, but let's see. Oh, I walked him into the fire. You crash the game once by continually spawning them. By spawning Mugu or by spawning... So, like, yeah, look at these levels. These levels are great. You can see what I mean when I say that we definitely did not have a problem with quality submissions. So many cool ideas, and it becomes... I'm glad that I am not in charge of deciding who wins. You know, like, obviously I helped rank things and get us to this top list that we have, but they're all so good that it's... I don't envy the judges who have to, at the end of the day, make that decision. Oh. I might lose them here. I timed it bad with the fire. Got him. Good boys. Sometimes having too many Mugu can become a liability too, because it takes time to shoot them. Oh, so close. Hopefully you're not getting bored of this one. I'm obsessed and I want to try that one more time. Mugu in an old version of the game. Yeah. It was a cool idea that I wish, you know, we could have found a way to make that old version work. It was just so chaotic, which we were trying to harness that, but so hard to balance, and ultimately just super hard on resources. We would have had to make a lot of other sacrifices in the game if we wanted to allow that many Mugu at once to be on screen. And yeah, it was just such a big performance hit that, and a balance. Like when you couple all those, oh my gosh, when you couple all those things together, it just became very difficult to make the case that that was the way it had to be. There's still some hitting through walls, that one guy. I mentioned earlier in the stream we're continuing to work on stuff like that. It's one of those things that unfortunately I don't know how perfect it will ever be. Certainly we're going to improve on it and keep working, but there's so many edge cases because of the nature of this as a maker game. Stood in fire. It's harder to play when you're talking, I promise. I'm not that bad. Let's try a different one. I don't think I have played Forsaken, but I may have played that on previous build. Let's try the long way around. Okay, I suspect lots of burning in my future. Or in my present. Where is... Ah. Oh, you missed it. We got 5 Mugu. We're going in. Huh. Why? Guess I just gotta... No more, is there? No. You gotta go quick. I wonder if when I got to that second one, if I should be shooting them. One more try here. I think I'm going to be here about another 20 minutes. If anyone has any other questions or anything you want to ask while we're live, get them in. Just a reminder that this, if you weren't here at the beginning of the stream or you didn't see the announcement today in the newsletter that went out, this build with workshop access to community levels is live now to anyone who has the game. So you can go on workshop and subscribe to levels and play them through the Maker Mode browse shared levels menu inside of the game. So I encourage you definitely to go check out the stuff that the community has been making over the past 6 or 8 weeks or however long it's been. That's how you got to do it. You see that? We learn, adapt, overcome. That's what separates me from the average Terrarium player. Look at that. We don't even lose our Mugu to the cabbage. Go. I'm going to cheat again and get my Mugu back. So the short list, the top 25. So the short list is going to be top 15. And on June 5th, yeah, it's the actual full-on winners. We'll be giving some clarity between now and then. Where do I go here? I like when you get up close on one of these big ones, they're like flies, little particles swarming around it. It's a nice touch. Come, minions. Okay, hold up. Is that a trap? If I go across there, I can see that one guy. Great level. Thanks for joining us. I think I'm going to go this way. These are much more enticing to me, these walls. Oh, I'm just at the end. Oh, I could go the other way. I see. Huzzah! That's correct, Mango Man. We're not going to give multiple prizes to the same person. You will see multiples in the long list that went out today. There are a few people that have several levels in that list. But when it comes down to actually winning, we're not going to give all the top prizes and awards to multiple people. We're going to limit that to one. At this stage, we debated over it internally about allowing multiples. And it came down to the fact that, some people just submitted a lot of really good levels. And we know how long some of you spent in the game building levels. There were people sharing their, Steam time in Discord. And when it comes down to it, it just shows. And we wanted to reward that. It was definitely something we talked about, but, if someone made 5 great levels and those levels were just standing out, we thought we'd put the ones that scored the highest into the long list because they were just good. Let's try Forsaken. Ah, yes, I think we have done this one before. Ah, yes. I just love this. Look at this. I have played this one on stream. And I think I showed this off too. This is just so cool. It's a nice little garden. I like the concept of this as like ruins, and this was a pathway at one point, but these rocks here have crumbled and blocked that way. I also thought that this was a super interesting use of like walls of varying sizes to create these cool big steps. Oh, this is yours, Kaz. Yeah, I think we did play this once before. I probably talked up all the same things, but we find ourselves here again. And like walls, small walls as big walls stacked up like that. That's cool. I like it. I'm curious about up there. Are those just decorations, or is there... You require acquire additional Mugu. Okay. So I found the end. We have 9. We need 11. Ugh. All that work to reveal a Hypnobulb. Oh no. Camera! Oh. Oh gosh. This section's great. I feel like I'm playing Alien Isolation. These guys are deceptively long-ranged. Just a note. Alright. See if I can get these Mugus safely back to the prime specimen. Oh no, he's stuck. Well, there you go. Those guys are actually stuck. Now I have not one Mugu to spare. My exploit didn't work. I'm assuming there's more breeding stations hidden around, but we'll play it safe. Assuming I can get through this. Like, there's nowhere else to go back there, was there? It's too late. I got what I need. I'm getting out. Ooh. My little shortcut here. And try to remember... Was it back there? There he is, way over there. Some blood from some fallen Mugu. R.I.P. I'm going to play one more level and hang for 5 or 10 more minutes, and then I think we're going to wrap this one up, and we'll be back next week. What haven't I played yet? Did I play the Water Temple? I don't think I played the Water Temple. Yeah, it does feel good. A job well done. All you need is one Mugu to spare, and you win. I'm not going to break your rock. Oh, I guess I have to. I was going to just walk around it, but... Patiently waiting for fire to burn is one of my favorite things to do in this game. Run! Oh, yeah. Come on. I was admiring the scenery for too long. Later. Take a break. Let that beacon refill. See, this level creator was benevolent. These double thick platforms to walk on over water and spikes, so refreshing. After struggling through so many levels where they're one thick and there's no margin for error. But now, of course, the beacon plant is going to make this a freaking nightmare. Oh no. Oh, I was out of beacon. Oh god. Okay. Note to self. Refill the beacon before that part. It's So hopefully anyone watching today can see what I mean. Oh gosh, can see what I mean when I said that, like, we had a hard time narrowing it down because the overall quality of submissions was just so high. It honestly exceeded our wildest dreams when we conceived of and started this contest. You know, you all went just above and beyond what we expected, and honestly, you achieved things with our little game that we didn't even think would be possible. Like some of the stuff I see people doing, and I've said it before in streams, like level design is hard. I'm not a level designer, you know. So it's amazing to me to see some of the stuff that you figured out by combining all the elements that we have here. We were worried at one point that, you know, earlier versions of the game had more stuff in them, and we cut some of that out before this release, trying to just focus on less but more tight and polished. And you know, there was some worry that there wouldn't be enough to do enough variety of levels, but you all proved us wrong with the things that you created, because that certainly hasn't been an issue. You know, the good news about that is we have a lot of fully or partially designed assets in our back pocket for the future, and all of the things that you've created and feedback we've had on Discord is highlighted for us. Like, every single thing that we add, because of the way they can combine with other assets, just really opens up whole new areas of level creation. So it's given us a lot of good insight into areas to expand on Maker Mode, that sort of like more bang for your buck, so to speak. Did I save that one? Okay. All right, we're going in. Oh God, I messed up. What do I got left? 5? Okay. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. So hard. Okay. As usual, we'll end the stream on defeat. That's become somewhat of a tradition for my streams. But here we are. Better luck next time. That's my motto. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Again, we are going back to a weekly stream schedule. We have some ideas. Everything's not set in stone. So if there's stuff you want to see or that you think you would benefit from on the stream, please let us know in Discord. We're still listening there. You can still submit levels even though the contest is over. If you like the game and you're having fun with it, or you have more ideas, please do. People have been submitting. May 15th, we're going to announce the short list of winners from our long list. Sorry, not of winners, the short list of finalists after the long list, which was released today. You can download this build and start getting each other's levels through Workshop. And again, if you go to your entries on Workshop for levels that you have submitted, fill in some information there. Like, put some design notes, put a video, put anything you want. Some people have done that, and it's cool to go see the thoughts of the creators there and get some insight into what you were thinking or imagining while you were designing these things. So thanks again, and we will see you on Discord and live next week.